Hello, my name is Shane Johnston and I'm Director of Schools in Jefferson County. It's an honor and privilege to welcome you to the 2020-2021 school year. As we plan to reopen schools for this coming school year, there have been many working very hard and long hours in preparation for your students to return in person, or if you have selected distance learning. This will indeed be a beginning of a school year like none other that I've experienced, and in many cases that will be true for others as well. But you have our commitment to work together to return and reopen as safely as possible and take care of your child. Whether that's in-person learning or distance learning, we will do our best to work together as a community to help our students be successful. We have great schools with great teachers and staff members. We're proud to serve you with bus drivers that care about your students and work very diligently to get each student to school and home safely each day. We have cafeteria staff that reaches out and also touches the lives of students as they feed our students both breakfast and lunch. There are countless classroom assistants, volunteers, and others that all work together to provide a high-quality educational experience in Jefferson County schools. So welcome to the 2020-2021 school year, and if we can help in any way, please don't hesitate to contact us at any time. Have a great day.
Hello, my name is Tommy Arnold. I work at Central Office as Federal Programs Director and supervise maintenance. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about federal programs first. Within federal programs, I handle budgetary for all money from the federal government. This year's been a little unique in that we received federal relief funds for the COVID virus in $1.5 million. Just wanted to touch on a note that our school board took action in allowing funds to be used before the allocation of that $1.5 million came into effect July the 1st. So our board passed the use of fund balance to buy student devices so that we could get ahead of the curve and allow student devices to be shipped so that we're not in competition with 90 counties across Tennessee competing to buy student devices. On that note, our devices have came in ahead of schedule, so we were lucky for that. We spent almost half of that $1.5 million on student devices, and we are working to also provide some internet connectivity, software for students to use for distance learning and in case that there is a school closure in the future. On the maintenance side of my job, we are preparing for schools to reopen, supporting them in their needs of gaining custodial supplies, setting up cleaning specifications for school buses, for classrooms, and getting them what they need. We're also coordinating with the State Department on shipments for personal protective equipment and sanitation, the things that the state is sending for our teachers to use within their classroom. So there's a lot of things that are happening that have to be coordinated to get that to our school systems, because the state sends bulk shipments and we break them down and get them out as quickly as possible to our teachers. Hope that we have a great school year. Hope that this school year will always be unique. It'll be remembered, but hopefully we can keep students safe along with educating students on a daily basis. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jamie Johnson. I'm the Student Nutrition Coordinator for Jefferson County Schools. I just wanted to update you all on some of the things we're doing in the cafeterias at the start of school, some changes that we're making. We're so excited to have your students back to eat with us. Our staff is just very happy that they'll get to see the kids in the schools instead of just outside coming this school year. One of the big changes is when the kids, if they have cash or checks that they need to put on accounts, they'll be giving those to the teachers in the morning, and then the teachers will be submitting those to the cafeteria managers by 9 o'clock to put on accounts. We do ask if there's any way if you could put that in an envelope with your student's name, and if you know their ID number, that would be fantastic to put on there, or a Ziploc bag or something, and just identify your student's name would be wonderful. When they come through the line, we're going to have hand sanitizers they're already set up, ready to go, that they'll use before going through the line. They will get their meals. Breakfast will be in a grab-and-go bag that they'll take back to the classroom, the cafeteria, wherever the principals designate their area to take that. So when the students come to pick up their lunch, that will be on a disposable tray or a hinged compartment tray. They'll be given disposable utensils as well at both meal services if needed. Those will be taken to the cafeteria. I think some principals may have students eating in classrooms. They're going to social distance in any way they can. The high school has made some scheduling changes where they'll have an additional lunch period, and they're spreading kids out in different areas. So we feel that the students will still get a great meal, and like I said, we can't wait to see them. One other thing is all of our staff will be wearing masks at all times. Anytime food is out, they'll be masked on. So we're going to protect the food in any way that we can. And again, we can't wait to see your students.
Hello, I'm Mandy Schneiden. I'm Student Services Director for Jefferson County Schools. I want to welcome everyone back to the new school year. Parents cannot begin to tell you how excited we are to be starting another school year, especially this one since we've been out for so long. Students, we cannot wait to see you back in our buildings. Those of you that got to come some during the summer or school-age childcare somewhere, we've just been thrilled to see you all. We want to put our arms around you and hug you, but we know we will not be doing that this year when you first walk into the building. So just know that you're very welcomed, and we're excited to be starting back up. The teachers were in the buildings this past week. We've had great meetings. It's just good to be seeing everyone again. Our administrators are excited. Our teachers are gearing up, and they are ready to go. I've been out in schools this week, and it's just heartwarming to be out there seeing all the preparation that's going into place. I know first and foremost you're thinking about school safety, and we are too. And we have been, and we continue to be, and we'll continue to be updating our protocols. We have frequently asked questions on school safety, and we'll have another update coming out next week. We are working very closely with the Tennessee Department of Health, with our local health authorities, and with our medical doctors in the community, as well as the State Board of Education, as we plan the safety protocols as students walk in the buildings. I know that you already know we'll be doing some things like temperature checks, and we'll be doing some things like social distancing. So you'll hear more about that in a different section of this production, I guess you could say, of this meeting. So school counselors. I wanted to talk to you about that for just a minute. Under Student Services, school counselors are a very important and integral part of our schools. They will be on site in every building as they have been, and also able to reach out to distance learners. Our students have been through a lot since March. Some have had very fun and positive experiences. Some have had very stressful times. And so just know that you may refer your children to our school counselors at the beginning of the school year or as needed, so that they can touch base with your students, and they will be putting their eyes on students, doing well checks, and just making sure that everyone's in a good place to start. And they will be helping them as they transition back into the schools after being out for so long. We also have a new addition this year, Allied Behavioral Health Services. Last year, we began a partnership with them as mental health therapists came into our schools, available for those of you who wanted services through parent permission. This year, we've added additional mental health therapists in every school building. We have a few smaller schools that will share a therapist, but there will be someone available in the buildings every day or almost every day. So just know that they're going to be working hand in hand with our school counselors this year. They're going to be doing some things like check in and check out with students. They're going to be talking with students, maybe some a little bit individually, just checking in and seeing how things are going, seeing if they can help them. And also, we will continue to have that individual therapeutic session with parent permission for those of you who want some more intensive therapy for individual students. So we welcome our Allied Behavioral Health Solutions partners and look forward to having them in the buildings. They've been going through training these last couple of weeks, and they're very excited to be helping us with our school counselors. We also have, as you know, our nurses in every school building. Our nurses are going to be very busy this year. So we're going to be helping them with triage. We're going to be, as we know, checking temperatures. And you may be getting more calls this year while we're in this high-risk time period or this pandemic time period. If we have a child that's with us that has symptoms, you will be getting a call, and we'll be talking about how to work through any kinds of situations like that with you individually. We also have our school-age childcare. As you know, our after-school school-age childcare is available in many of our schools. They are taking applications, and you may contact Tammy Gardner at tgardner, Gardner, at jcboe.net. So school-age childcare is available. You can call your school and get that information. We also have pre-K. Pre-K is taking applications for children that will turn 4 on or before August 15th. With pre-K, we do have some priority eligibilities based on income, but if space is available, we also serve other students. Our Family Resource Center is open for parents. By open, I mean call for help if you need community resources or supports. That's 397-4466. So as you begin to help your children return to school, I would like to just mention 3 things that you can do before they walk in the doors on August 7th. Number 1 is just prepare your children for return. Let them know this is not going to be a typical return, that if they have been in the buildings before, if they're not kindergarten students, they have a thought process about what it's like to walk in the first day. Well, this day may look a little bit differently. Students are going to have masks on. Teachers may have, or will be wearing masks. They'll be doing those temperature checks. There'll be social distancing, so there'll be some new guidelines, new rules, and the teachers and the counselors will be talking about why we're doing that we're trying to protect one another and keep everybody safe and healthy. And then just talk to them about preparation for themselves as they walk in the building. What can they do before they come in? They can bring their water bottles. They can be thinking about how to social distance. What does that look like? What does social distancing look like between myself and my friends? Reminders to keep our hands to ourselves, so that even though we may want to hug one another or play with one another in touching, we're not going to be doing that this year during this time period. We also want to think about what experiences have they already been through in the past that help them deal with change or deal with loss. And these are the kinds of things you talk them through and say, you know, you did well with that change. You managed that stress. You can do this. It's all going to be great and fun back in our classrooms. We're going to have a joy just being back together again, and I think students, once they get back in the buildings, are going to feel less anxious, but a few may have some anxiety or thoughts about what it's going to be like coming back into the buildings. So talk to your children ahead of time, refer to counselors if you feel like that's necessary, and just help them know that these feelings are normal feelings. It's normal to feel a little bit of anxiety or a little bit of uncertainties, may be the best word to say, because they're just not sure of what they're going to expect or run into when they come in. So let them know that's very normal. We're going to work through it. We're all going to be just fine back in our buildings, and we're going to take care of your children while you're there to the very best of our ability. We hope that we have a wonderful school year. We expect a wonderful school year, and we thank you, parents, for joining with us in making that happen.
Hello, I'm Christy Walke, and I am the new elementary supervisor for Jefferson County Schools. While I'm new to this role, I've been with Jefferson County Schools for 21 years, And during that time, I've served as a first grade teacher, a second grade teacher, a literacy coach, an assistant principal, a principal, and as the district literacy specialist. So all those experiences have helped me prepare for the challenging year of 2020-2021. I'd like to talk to you about some of the ways we're going to combat learning loss from the spring since schools were closed. One program that we've adopted and are going to implement is called iReady. And this program is going to help us in 3 ways. The first way is that iReady is a powerful assessment system, so that once our students take this assessment, our teachers will know exactly where they are, what they know, and what they need to learn next. Secondly, it's an online teaching system. So it will provide lessons to students exactly where they are in ELA, which is English Language Arts, and in math. And thirdly, it comes with teacher toolkits, which are just resources for teachers that help them provide matched lessons to the students. I'd also like to talk about 2 of the most frequently asked questions for elementary age students that I've been receiving. The first is, what does distance learning look like? And the second is, what does the school day look like for traditional or in-person students? So I'd like to give you a little bit of background on distance learning. Our distance learning plan is the way we've set it up is for our teachers to share the workload and to collaborate and work together. The collaboration is going to be to a level we've never seen before. So every teacher is learning how to be a distance learning teacher, which will be vital for our traditional students if some of them have to go home on a temporary basis. As you probably know, students in kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade will be receiving iPads, and students in 3rd through 12th grade will be receiving laptops. We've had the question a lot, are students going to be on the iPad or laptop for 7 hours a day? And I want to reassure you that's not going to be the case for our distance learners. Our teachers know about what's developmentally appropriate for these 6, 7, 8-year-old students. So in the videos and the lessons that they are preparing, they're including songs and games and hands-on activities so that their lessons can be engaging for these young students. Basically, in our distance learning plan, teachers are preparing lessons by recording lessons, recording themselves teaching, organizing available online resources that are out there that maybe the district has purchased or that are free resources that are open source. And they're designing assignments for students so that after they participate in the instruction, they have a way to show their teacher how they're responding to the lesson. And so teachers will be able to give feedback on the students' assignments. So in kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade, we will have recorded lessons each day in phonics, in math, and in reading and writing. And in that age group, our reading and writing is where we also pull in our social studies and science standards. In the upper elementary, in 3rd through 5th grade, we will have the 4 core subjects each day. So students will have reading or English language arts, they'll have math, science, and social studies every day. Students in this age group will also watch the videos, complete the assignments, and this can be at any convenient time throughout the day. We've had that question a lot because of working parents and different schedules. So we feel like this is a good plan to help us reach all students. Additionally, sometimes we will support students with some scheduled times for live video conferencing. Some of our students participated in that in the spring with Zoom, or our system for live video conferencing is called Microsoft Teams. So let me talk about our in-person traditional learners just for a minute. Students will still come to school, and we're going to do the very best we can to teach them and to take care of them. Principals are thinking through their schedules. So we know we have the protocols and we have a calling to socially distance. So we're thinking through our schedules to see, instead of gathering in large groups, how can we organize students as they enter the building, and how can we organize students as we have dismissal? And so our principals are thinking through that at the building level, and they're working out those plans with their faculty and staff. We still are going to have special area classes for our in-person students and recess, but these things will just have to look different as we start this school year. In 4th and 5th grade, our students won't be moving classes from room to room, but our teachers will move to them so that they'll still get that specialized instruction. In elementary school and Jefferson County schools, we are certainly in for a challenging year. We will work hard and we'll pull together so that we can rise to that challenge. Thank you.
My name is Michelle Walker, and I'm the Supervisor of Secondary Education and Assessment. Some of the things that I do are schedule assessments for the district, K through 12. We schedule all of the formative assessments, which are assessments that we take throughout the year to measure our progress. And of course, I schedule all of the formal assessments that the state requires us to take, such as TN Ready. In addition to assessment, data, and accountability, I also am in charge of curriculum instruction for 6 through 12. We have just adopted an ELA program that we are really excited to roll out. Our English language arts teachers are excited about a high quality curriculum that we feel like will reach all of our students. In addition to working with teachers on curriculum, we work with them to determine what professional development they are going to need. I work very closely with the elementary supervisor to provide the professional development for teachers. Our teachers are working very hard to provide a seamless curriculum for both distance learners and traditional learners. They will all be able to access that instruction through Canvas. They are excited about the activities, the plans for these different things that students will be doing, and we're excited about the possibilities for the future. We know that this is not going to be a perfect year. We are all learning and we are all in this together, and we look forward to partnering with our parents and with our students to provide the best education
Hi, I'm
possible.
Tammy Bolland, Supervisor of Special Education. I'm really excited about this upcoming school year, but I also know that it can bring some challenges if you have a child who's receiving special education services. One of the things that I would like to share with you today is maybe a basic understanding of IDEA, or Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. Based on IDEA Part B, we can serve students ages 3 through 21. So if you have a student that you suspect having a disability or who we may already be serving, we just want to let you know that we will continue providing those services whether you choose the traditional route or the distance learning route. If you suspect that your child may have a disability, there's a process that we must go through. Before we can provide special education services, we must first obtain parental consent for the evaluation. Once the evaluation is completed, the school team, or the IEP team, which is the Individualized Education Plan team, will meet to look to see if your child is eligible based on state criteria. Once your child is determined eligible based on state criteria, we would then look at developing an individualized education plan, which is called an IEP. This plan is developed specifically for your child to address any deficits that have been recognized through the evaluation process. It's important to understand that the IEP is updated annually, or it can be updated throughout the year. If you suspect that your child may have a disability, or if your child is currently receiving special education services, please reach out to me if you have any questions regarding the services that are being provided either through the traditional route or through the distance learning route. You can reach me at tbolland@jcboe, or you can phone at 397-7024.
Hello, I am Jessie Underwood, the Assistant Supervisor of Exceptional Children's Services. I am so excited to get the 2020-21 school year up and running and be able to partner and work with you throughout this school year. We have had a few questions that have filtered through our Exceptional Children's Service office that I would like to address with you at this time. One of the questions that is frequently asked is, if my child has an individualized education plan, will he or she still receive services? And the answer to that is yes. Whether you have chosen the traditional in-person option for your child or you have chosen the distance learning option, those services will still be provided. Additionally, if you have a child who receives services underneath a 504 plan or an ILP for our English language learners, those services will also still be provided. Another question that has been asked is, who will I contact about my child's individualized education plan? So your child will be assigned a case manager at the school level, and that case manager will be in frequent contact and communication with both you and your students. If any families have any questions pertaining to a vulnerable student population, please feel free to call the Exceptional Children's Service Office at any time, and we will be happy to guide you through those questions and work out to find an answer.
Hello, my name is Glenn Wolfenberger. I'm the Assistant Transportation Director for Jefferson County Schools. Today I'm going to talk to you about our buses and how that we're going to keep your students safe and our kids safe this year throughout the school year. The first thing I want to talk about is our new camera system. Jefferson County Schools have installed a new camera system up on each bus. It is called ProVision. This system will allow us to be able to remote into the buses to be able to see what is going on those buses in a much easier way for student safety and also for our driver safety. The next thing that we have installed on our buses is a GPS system. It will allow us to be able to track those buses in case of any emergencies may arise. That we are in today's society, if there's a breakdown, that GPS system will allow us to go directly to where the bus is at to be able to resolve those problems. It will also allow us to monitor our drivers, their safety for transporting your students. That it will allow us to be able to see the braking, their acceleration, and general activities up on that bus. Buses will be sanitized daily. That our drivers will be sanitizing the buses at the end of each of their routes, and that will be considering it is a mist, and it'll allow the buses to be sanitized daily for student safety. We have a new program called Guide K-12, and that program is going to allow us to look at our routes, being able to make the most informed decisions based upon those student routes, making sure that we can be as efficient as possible at the bus garage. Mask. Everyone's talking about masks. Masks are highly recommended on Jefferson County school buses. So our drivers will not be policing that information, but it is highly suggested. You know, once that you arrive at school in your grades 6 through 12, then masks will be required at those schools. So we will be highly recommending masks for the safety not only of our drivers but also of our students. Speaking of safety of our drivers, the first 2 seats of every school bus will be vacant. That will allow that 6-foot distancing for social distancing for our bus. Knowing that on a school bus, we will do our very best to social distance, but that social distancing will at sometimes be impossible to follow. So at that time, that's why we're looking at that sanitation. And lastly is bus discipline. Bus discipline with the COVID-19 that's going on. The driver safety and student safety will be of the utmost importance. We will make sure that students are obeying the school bus rules, and we will work with each administrator within the county for a consistent system throughout Jefferson County schools.